Good evening, everyone. This is Rajendran here joining from Market Calls, and welcome everyone to a webinar on market profile intraday trading strategies. Now, in today's discussion, we are going to look into some of the basics of market profile and then how you can take advantage of market profile as an intraday trader. That is what we're going to look in today's discussion. Before getting into the session, just give me a quick confirmation about the audio and video quality. And as usual, the session is getting recorded and the session will be posted in YouTube once the recording is, once the session is over. All right, great. Thanks, Vijay, Santosh, Abhishek Kumar, and everybody. So without any further delay, let me quickly start with the discussion here. A little bit about me. My name is Rajendran. I'm the founder of Market Calls and the co-founder of Traders Cafe. So I've been trading these markets for quite some time now. I've been trading in the market since 2006 onwards. Primarily, I'm an index derivative trader. I prefer to trade mostly in Nifty and Bank Nifty futures and options. And yes, I also participate in some of the hedged stock options and futures. So, my journey, right? So I've been started trading initially as an classical technical analysis trader. Slowly, I transformed myself into between 2009 to 2014. I primarily shifted my focus on systematic trading and algorithmic trading. And now my core focus has been shifted primarily on tools like market profile and order flow, right? So after 2012-13, right? So I got involved deeper into market profile and order flow. And since then, I've been trading market profile and order flow and been a market profile based trader for quite some time now. So how many of you are very new to market profile? If you are very new to market profile, just simply type yes in the chat section so that I can have a fair idea what kind of crowd I'm addressing for the day. So Gautam Jai Krishna is saying yes, and Sajan is saying good evening, and Abhishek is new, Balaji is new, Mahesh is new, Vipin is new, Ratan is new. All right, so many people who are very new to market profile. Looks like Money is new, Santi is new, Devi Mohanty is new. And for a few months he's quite new, and Mahendra is new. All right, so looks like a lot more people who are very, very new to market profile. But let me tell you, market profile is not an indicator. It is more than an indicator. It doesn't give any buy sell signal. It doesn't give you where to keep a stop loss. It doesn't tells you what a trader wants, but rather it explains what is happening inside the markets. So many people like to usually use market profile to figure out how to trade, right? Of course, that is true on one side, but many traders, they are level-based traders. Most of the traders, if you prefer, right, they will be trading on some trend lines or pivots. However, what market profile offers here is that meaningful information, what is actually happening inside the market. So if you want to decode, so many people have that thought, right? How I can decode the market? So how do I know that what is happening inside the markets? That is what market profile gives us in the form of a visualization. So market profile itself is more of a graphical tool, which helps us to understand, which helps us to decode the markets. So market profile measures the activity in the form of price distribution. So what is price distribution? How many of you hearing the term price distribution for the very first time? The price distribution is nothing but how many times a price is getting touched a particular day. For example, let me give a very simple example about what is price and what is price distribution. So that is very, very important because that is a basic foundation of market profile. When it comes to price action, right, we will be mostly focusing on the price direction, where people, most of the traders, they want to know whether the price is moving up or they want to know whether the price is moving down. And of course, market is all about whipsaws, right? A lot of whipsaws happens in the markets. But how I can convert that whipsaw into a meaningful signals, that is what market profile does. What market profile does is that whenever a price is acting, let's say the price is moving up and price goes down, again goes up, again comes down. In a particular day, if I draw a line, how many times a price getting touched? So here you can see that this is one time and the second time and probably the third time and of course the fourth time as well. So 4 times a particular price is getting touched. If you understand, right, last Friday, you might get surprised. Let me show you in the profile charts how many times a price is getting touched. To your surprise, how many times do you think a particular price would have been touched last Friday? Any idea? Let me show you, because that is a very core foundation principles of market profile. If you know what is happening, right, you will very much appreciate this kind of price action as a trader. So here is the last Friday's activity. Go back and check one of the price level. So here is the price level. So what you're seeing is a market profile activity of last Friday's activity. Last Friday's activity, if you go back and check around these levels. So if I plot as a price distribution, right, I could have seen that almost letter A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, K. Total how many letters? A total of 10 times a particular price level got traded. 10 times. This is quite an interesting setup here. So you can see that price, most of the time it was getting traded over here. And this is not an only last Friday's phenomena alone. If you go back and check, right, last Friday, price opened over here. It dropped down, again came back, again went down, again came back, went down, again it was doing a lot of whipsaws around those levels. A particular price level around the center, more number of times price got traded over here. So this is most likely the day center. And here is the day high. You can see the day high, only one letter got traded over here, only one letter. So how market profile operates here is that every half an hour a letter gets generated. So letter A represents first 30 minutes. So here this is letter A. It represents first 30 minutes from 9:15 to 9:45. So wherever the price moved, so price opened over here, it dropped down and again came back. And then second half an hour, letter B starts. Letter B starts from 9:45 to 10:15. That is what letter B does. And then letter C, letter D, it keeps on going on and on and on. Total in a day, letter A to letter M, total 13 letters got traded, 13 letters. So if I compress everything towards the left, what I'll be seeing here is a price distribution charts. If I compress the entire price activity. So there are two kinds of price activity we can see over here. One is the normal distribution profile. So this is, we call this a daily profile. Daily profile. So which talks about the price distribution. You can see that maximum where number of price activity is happening. You can see that price activity is maximum at the center point, where more time also getting spent. Many times the letters are getting traded. Repeatedly the price was coming and touching those levels. And then here is one more variation over here. This is called as a split profile. So split profile. Split profile is as good as watching an bar charts, a 30-minute bar charts, we can say like that. I can also change the letters. So if I go and change the time frame here, let's say if I want to change it to every 15 minutes, I want letters. Here I can build Every 15 minutes, letters. You can see here I will be getting more number of letters here. But the structure of the market doesn't changes. So by default, which time frame we'll be using? We'll be mostly preferring to use 30-minute time frame only. And from an intraday standpoint, that is more than enough. From an intraday perspective, what it helps us to do is that we try to understand what is happening inside the markets from the via the price distribution. How do I understand only from one profile? How do I know what is happening inside the markets? Right? That's beauty of market profile. It helps us to reveal what traders are trying to do. So let's go back here. What market profile does is that it records the market activity in the form of price distribution. So what is price distribution? How the price is getting distributed at each and every price level. So you can see here this particular level. Here you can see price is spending very less time here. This is last Friday's activity. Here at the day high, price is spending very less time in terms of time. So market profile is one tool which not only talks about price, it also talks about time as well as volume as well. So when less time is getting spent, lesser volumes are getting transacted. The volume histogram which you are seeing, which is nothing but the volume profile. This is nothing but volume profile. So very less time is also getting spent. Here also less time is getting spent over here. Less time. So how do I know it is less time? Hardly if I measure horizontally, if I measure, here I can see that only one time a letter is getting traded over here. Here 2 letters are getting traded over here. Here you can see 3 letters are getting traded over here. Maybe I'll zoom it and then I'll show you. Or probably for time being, what I'll do, I'll increase the brick size. So we call it as a brick size or TPO size. Let me increase the TPO size so that you can go and see the letters. Ideally, to me, letters will help us to understand what time is running. So here, if you see, you might get more clarity over here. If you see at this level, at this price, letter K at the edges up to here, it's only one time it got traded over here. Means very less time is getting spent. However, you see this block, this entire block K and L, 2 times letters are getting traded over here. Watch out this zone, 3 times it is getting traded over here. And how about here? Again, 2 times. How about at the center? How many letters got traded? A, B, C, D, E, total 5. Again, F, G, H, I, K. Total 10 letters got traded over here. 10 times letters got traded. And you can see our activity is again declining here into 3 times and J into 1 times. So where price is spending more time here, you can visualize in the form of price distribution. So price distribution help us to visualize that this particular price, that is 11,570, 10 times it got traded over here. Now, why 10 times? That is a question you have to ask. Why 10 times? Why not 2 times or why not 5 times? Why that particular price is getting repeatedly traded over here? Now, this is where if you're an intraday trader, you need to know and learn and think better about the markets. Why do you think 10 times a particular price is getting traded here? Or why a price has to go and trade 10 times? Any idea? You can just type your comments there so that I can have a fair idea of what you're thinking about. Why a particular price should trade 10 times at those levels. So where the price is spending 10 times, right? You can see that the volume is also spending more volume over here. Why more volume has to happen at those levels? Markets are going sideways and markets are doing more volume. It's supposed to be opposite, right? When the markets are trending, it should do more volume, right? Why markets are doing more volume when price is also more time it is spending? Yeah, of course, Ramya is saying that it's a fair price. What else? Resistance level. This is what somebody is saying. Accumulation. Yes, that is from Balaji Veeraraghavan. And Van Kumar is saying that value area. Mahendra is saying that willingness to buy at that price. So what is happening here is that in any given day, people are coming into the markets and do buy and sell. When they are doing buying and selling, obviously some people want to buy more, some people want to buy less. So more people are interested in buying or selling at these levels. This is where most of the crowded activity is happening, right? So last Friday, this is where most of the crowded activity happened. So means this is a place more people or maybe more big traders are interested in buying and selling. Now, who are those big traders? Maybe it can be long-term players who are doing accumulation or distribution. Maybe it could be short-term traders who are like hedge funds, who have a large pool of capital, or maybe that could be brokers who are trading in their own accounts, like prop traders who trade in their own accounts, or some short-term players. Mostly we call them as a short-term players or long-term players. They are the one who interested in trading at those levels because they want to trade in a huge volume. So you will get to know at what level these guys are doing activity over there. Whereas with candlestick, very little we can decode the markets. But whereas here we can understand where the most of the traders are interested. Yeah, some traders, some big traders, they bought or sold, we can understand from here. Same thing goes with every day. If I try to decode where the most of the activity is happening, every day you can see that prices at least touching 7 times, 8 times here. Sometimes here it goes only 6 times or 7 times. Sometimes it goes like 7 or 8 times. Sometimes it goes like 6, again 7 times here. Again, there are days where almost 12 or 13 letters are getting traded over here. But every day you can see this kind of price distribution where more and more trading activity is happening. So of course, at this point of time, you can understand that market profile is not a tool to identify where to keep a stop loss or, but one thing you can sure about that, you can know about the markets. It is like if you are a cricket fan, right? Of course, you want to know about the pitch condition, you want to know about the weather condition. Same thing like that, market profile reveals more activity about how the traders are behaving, where maximum trading activity is happening, where lesser trading activity is happening. But not only that, it does more things about the markets. So let me give you some primer before getting into the interesting part. So first of all, we need to know about the different types of traders in the markets. One is day time frame traders, or we can call them as an intraday traders. Most of the day time frame traders are intraday traders. They come into the markets without any positions and they go out without any holding any positions. Of course, most of them, they trade with the MAS order. So you know that MAS orders will be automatically squared off. But despite that, there are many traders who trade without MAS orders also. Now, I don't use MAS order. I primarily use NRML order, even if I'm an intraday trader. I go many cases, many times. I open trades during the day and close the trades in the same day itself. So day time frame traders come flat and they go without holding any positions. They come without any position and they go without any position because that is their personal choice. And then next comes short-term traders. We know what short-term traders do. They have a large capital and they are not day time frame traders, first of all. They hold their positions more than a day. So sometimes 3 days, sometimes it can be 10 days. They're not small traders, of course. Most of them are big traders. They have the muscle power to move the markets. They can bring substantial move in the market. Suddenly they can push the price 100 points up or suddenly they can push the price 100 points down also. But ultimately they're also traders. Means if they're buying today, they will be closing their positions in 3 or 4 or 10 days time. Within that time, they will be closing their positions mostly. That is what the short-term traders are all about. And then comes intermediate and long-term traders. They are mostly money managers, long-term funds, mutual funds, or foreign institutions who want to buy for the long term, mostly 6 months or 1 year or 3 months of holding period. Those are the kind of players. When they are buying, right, they will be buying at sector level. They will not be buying one particular stock in a day. When they are buying, they will be coming and flooding their markets with money. When they are moving the markets, right, they'll be flooding across the sectors. They'll be mostly buying at a sector level. Sometimes they might be going and buying the pharma sector. Now pharma sector is going hard, right? We know that every pharma sector in the world is going up. Sometime back it was banking sectors, and sometime back it was a metal sector. So they'll be keep on shifting from one sector to another sector. Sometimes they'll be buying multiple sectors. They cannot go and move only one particular stock alone. When they're coming with funds, right? They'll be coming with very big funds. When they are piling up, when they are moving the markets, they'll be moving the sectors. They don't move only one stock alone. Sometimes they'll be, when they don't want to move, when they want to accumulate or they distribute, they'll be slowly accumulating or they'll be slowly distributing without making any impact in the markets. But these long-term players also, they can move, they can bring a substantial impact to the markets. However, our focus is primarily on what day time frame traders and what day time frame traders do and short-term traders do. Though long-term traders, they can make a substantial move in the markets, they don't show on a daily basis. I mean, they don't showcase themselves on a daily basis. They would like to be in a stealth mode most of the times. However, most of the time we'll be dealing with either with day time frame traders or short-term traders. Most of these traders, right, the day time frame traders and short-term traders, they give more importance to the levels, which you can easily spot from the profile. So of course, I'm going to show you later part of the session. I'm going to show you one of the important profile activity on 11th so that you can appreciate how better these guys are coming and trading and how visually you can identify these kind of players. So most of the time you can identify the day time frame traders where they are coming and competing, where they are initiating their trades. You can identify using profile activity. And then even short-term traders also, ultimately short-term traders also what? Even though they are big traders, they give more importance to reference levels again. So of course, here some of the summary, if you are very new to market profile, right? Here is a primer. Every profile will have a letter O, so that represents today's open. So the letter O represents where today's open is happening. And then probably there will be a hash symbol. So I'm using Bell TPO, so different software uses different notation. In my tool, right, the hash symbol represents where the last traded price activity is happening. You can see a small red color hash over here. That red color small hash represents the last traded price. So during the live market, there will be like this hash will be keep on moving up and down, or wherever it is pointing, it points to the last traded price. And end of the day, it points to the closing, last traded close. That's what it represents. And then point of control. Point of control is a place where more number of letters got traded. Of course, here in my case, there is a small black color dot with an orange color horizontal bar that represents where more number of letters are getting traded over here. So each and every letter is called as TPO. TPO means time price opportunity. And of course, you can also see a halfback level. You can see a halfback level, the yellow color line, that is a halfback line, which is nothing but the midpoint of the day, high of the day and low of the day divided by 2. You'll be getting the center point. That is the midpoint of the day. And then value area. Value area can see mostly as a bracket over here. So this red color block represents where 70% of the trading activity is happening. That means where most of the trading activity is happening. So those are the places where the big traders are interested in, especially the short-term traders, the long-term traders and intermediate traders. They love to trade at those levels. And the point of control is also called as a fair price for the day. Now here in this picture, you can see that on 10th of September, if you see the point of control activity, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, almost 7 letters got traded around 11,420 levels. So whenever the point of control is less than 7, right, we can consider that as a regular point of control. Regular point of control will have less than 10 times of TPO activity, 9 times or less than 10 times. We can call that as a regular point of control. Anything more than 9 or 10 or 11 or 12, we can call that as a prominent point of control. Prominent point of control is an activity. You can see that more number of trading activities happening that particular day. 11th September, imagine how many letters got traded. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Almost all the letters are getting traded over here. I mean, almost 12 letters got traded over here. When 12 letters are getting traded, we call that as a prominent point of control. More than 10 or 11 or 12, we can call that as a prominent point of control, because that particular day more institutions are focusing, or more big traders are focusing at those levels. They're slowly accumulating and distributing at those levels. Either accumulation is happening or distribution is happening. But that level is very prominent. Most of the traders, especially big traders, they are aware about those levels. Mostly traders are aware about those levels, those who are regular in the markets. And if you're a trader out there, right, you have to focus around those levels, because those kind of levels often act like a magnet. The prominent point of control often act like a magnet. And here are some of the important reference level. I'll show you why these reference level are important. Today's open is very, very an important reference level. Early morning high, that means letter A period high. Early morning low, that is A period low. So previous day high, previous day low, previous day half back levels, intraday half back levels, prominent point of control. These are very, very important trading reference levels. Let me tell you why. Because these days, right, markets are so visual in nature that you can easily able to spot from the profile structure. Let me show you the last Friday's 31st. Let me show you the activity from one of the day, 14th September. So I'm just showing the simulation of 14th September. What you can see here is that price opened higher compared to the 11th September. You can see that 11th September. 11th September is the Friday activity. On Monday, price is opening with a gap up. When I say price opens gap up, right, price is opening above the previous day high. Understand what is happening here. Price opened, and each and every letter here is only 1 point TPO. 1 point TPO means every one letter, every 1 point movement in Nifty, it prints the letters. So price keeps on moving up and down and up and down. It keeps on printing letter A in the first half an hour. And once the first half an hour is over, letter B starts. Letter B keeps on printing. You can see that price activity of letter B keeps on printing. The price keeps on moving up and down, up and down. The letter hash tracks the recent price activity. Letter B totally becomes like an inside bar to letter A. Now let me stop the activity here. You can see that letter C went exactly to the one of the prominent point of control here. So the 3rd September was a prominent point of control. You can see that the notation PPOC that represents the prominent point of control activity. Price goes exactly to the prominent point of control activity, and then it stopped. See that it stopped. Literally it stopped, and then it started bouncing down. Why do you think it is happening like that? Why the price has to go exactly to the price was touching the prominent point of control and it is coming down. Now, not only that, notice the letter D period high also. The D period high precisely went to the prominent point of control and it started coming down. It's not the first time, second time also happened the same way. Now notice the third time also price was coming and trading at those levels. Now why it is happening so? So market profile, right, never failed to fascinate me. Almost every day, we will be finding these kind of significant visual reference level. And that will be helpful for us to understand what is happening inside the markets. Now let me tell you what is happening inside the markets. Letter C precisely went to the day high. The day high was exactly one of the key reference level, prominent point of control. it was price, the C period high was touching the prominent point of control and then it is bouncing down. So somebody was literally waiting there to sell at those levels. Who waits at those levels to sell the markets? It is not the first time you are seeing. Letter C, price went exactly to the prominent point of control and somebody pushed the price down. Letter came back up, letter D came back up. Letter D also pushed the price down from those levels. Almost it was a 10 points down from the high to the low. Now again C is, letter E is going up. Somebody is coming and selling very precisely at these levels. Now this is what we call as a visual reference level. So the prominent point of control, right, it is one of the visual reference level. Many traders, especially big traders, the watchers, they react around those levels. One of the most important levels to watch out. So what is happening here is that traders are the one, mostly day time frame traders or the short term traders are the one who watches at those levels. More the activity it is happening around this level, more the odds that we are dealing with weaker hand traders. We call this highs, right? It's kind of called as a weaker high. It's a weaker high, and such highs most likely will be taken out. It is not a, it's most likely a continuation pattern where you can expect that weaker levels to get cleared, because it's more and more a reference level is getting touched. What will happen? More the reference level is getting touched repeatedly exactly at those levels means some traders are watching those levels and they are coming and reacting those levels. They are not big investors. They are mostly traders. So we can identify that the traders are the one who is coming and repeatedly selling exactly at a fixed level. Fixed level traders are coming and selling. Why they are coming and selling a fixed level? That's how the traders behave in the markets. Investors, they don't care about a fixed level. Why do they have to care about a fixed level? Why they have to come and sell exactly at 11,555 every time? Why they want to liquidate their last 1 year of holding? Or somebody, why they have to come and buy exactly around 11,555 and they want to hold it for the next 10 years? Investors, they don't take decision like this. Only traders, they take decision like this. Traders watches level and they trade their levels. Of course, the short-term traders, right? They trade like this. Short-term traders, day time frame traders, even some of the hedge fund traders, they trade, who are traders in nature, they trade at their precise entry levels. So those are their precise entry levels or precise exit levels. That's how they move the markets. When price come to an exact level, they start punching their orders. They start moving the markets. And you know, right, short-term traders, they can move the market substantially. They can move the markets. They can bring even 150 points, 100 points move also in a day. They can bring. Let me continue the auction here. So what we are saying is that we are trying to visualize what is happening on the 14th September activity. So simultaneously, you can see what the price distribution is happening. This is the daily profile. And simultaneously, you can also see the split profile as well. Side by side, you can see both. So that is what they are in Bell TPO indicator. So that is not the only fascinating thing. This prominent point of control, right, on 3rd of September, somebody sold from those levels on last September. From that 3rd September, right, somebody sold over here. So people are maybe the one who sold over here, maybe those who sold over here. It's probably the same guy who was coming and selling to their position. They are adding more and more selling to their positions. But at the same time, when somebody is reacting this visually, it is considered as a weaker level as per the auction profile principles, right? As per the auction principle or the market profile principle, such kind of weaker level usually gets cleared on the same day. But we can know that the short-term traders are coming and selling over here because that is a level they used to watch. Somebody is coming and selling. Does the market can go down? Probably yes. but not necessarily immediately. Immediately it is considered as a visual reference. Such kind of visual reference level, usually market will try to clear it off. When I say clear it off, right, price will come back and some traders will come and take that level out. But remember, some traders are coming and selling. Most likely these kind of behavior is, if somebody is coming and selling, right, somebody is coming and selling exactly at the prominent point of control, most likely they are short-term traders. Maybe the short-term traders who sold exactly at those levels. From here, the market fallen down. And after that, what is happening? Market started coming back. They come back to the precise level, and precisely 3 times market started selling exactly from those levels. Yes, from an intraday perspective, those levels are considered to be cleared, but maybe they might know some information that we don't know. Let's see how the activity is happening. So 3 times price sold, and now that level, which is considered as a weaker reference level, it got cleared off, right? So this prominent point of control is very important short-term reference level. As I said, short-term traders, they watch and they are exactly loading their positions at those levels. Now watch, even more something interesting is happening over here. There is one more terminology I would like to point out over here. There is a half-back level. You can see small, tiny white colored dots over here. That represents the center point of that letter A, letter B. So each and every center point is measured over here. Let me pass the activity here. Notice the C period low. The C period low, if you see the C period low here, it's over here. Of course, see precisely over here. The C period low was exactly coming and touching the letter A period halfback. A period halfback, you see that A period white color line, a small tiny vertical, horizontal white color line. Probably let me spot it over here. Here it is. Letter A period center point is exactly the C period low. So when the price is dropping to the center point of A period low, exactly buying is happening. So letter C period started bought. Somebody was buying exactly from the A period center. That is how the C period low stopped. Notice the D period as well. So here is the D period low. D period low is also at the halfback of letter C period halfback. And notice the F period. F period stopped exactly at the letter A period high. Letter A period is considered as the early morning high. When the price opened, right, first half an hour high and low is considered as the early morning high and early morning low. So when the price was first half an hour, price was making a range. That range, somebody is coming and buying exactly at those levels. So 3 times. So 3 times buying is happening precisely at the reference level. Maybe it could be an algo, it could be an intraday traders. Mostly traders are the one who watches these kind of tiny levels. Traders watching these kind of tiny levels, traders, they bought at C period, exactly at the halfback. And again, traders are coming at letter D period, they're coming and buying exactly at the halfback. And again, letter F period, the traders are coming and buying exactly from the early morning high. See that letter A period high is exactly the F period low. And not only that, G period went only 1 TPO down and it started coming back up. So repeatedly, what I'm seeing at this point of time here is that more and more traders are the one who is buying over here. Not one time, again 3 times I'm able to see the buying activity. More the activity I'm seeing, more I'm competing with the intraday traders. You know, right, intraday traders, if they are buying, they have to sell it on the same day. Precisely. So they have to sell at some point of time, they have to turn themselves into a sellers. So letter C period low is an intraday player. Letter D period low is an intraday player. And of course, F period low also an intraday player, because as I said, these are the levels most of the traders, they'll be watching on a regular basis. They'll be watching at the today's open. So intraday traders might be coming, and many times you might see that price comes exactly to the open, and then it started today's open, price comes exactly to the today's open, and it started going up. Many times it happened, it is happening, and it will happen. Why is it so? Because that's how the traders, they trade in the markets. Maybe I can show you one of the recent example where price precisely come to the open, and then it started moving precisely from those levels. So here you can, if you could see, if I try to split this particular day's activity, I can split any day. You can see that letter E came precisely to the open here. This particular day, if you could see, letter B period came exactly to the open. And that's how the traders, they do. Not only here, now I can show you at many places. If you could watch very closely this particular day, see that price came, letter B just went only 1 point down, and then it started, the buying activity happens. That's how the traders, they trade in the markets. Or maybe a couple of more places I can show you how they behave. Here again, you could see that letter B period and C period. Notice the B period and C period. That is a precise example of how traders behave. The C period was coming precisely to the open. I mean, B period came just 1 point above the open, and then they started buying. Letter C also coming down precisely 1 point down, and then they started buying. G period again 1 point above from that level, they are buying, mostly intraday traders. So these are the days more and more repeatedly intraday traders are coming and playing. So precisely we know how intraday traders are coming and playing here. So now if I combine what is happening throughout the day, so far I can know that two things are happening over here. One is the sellers repeatedly, they sold at C period, D period and E period multiple times. They precisely sold at, it is like the sellers are coming and price is reaching that level, and then it's got sold off. Again, price is reaching those levels and then sold off. Again, price is reaching that level and then it's sold off. 3 times the players are coming and selling. Means maybe one guy would be coming and repeatedly coming and selling at those levels. Maybe he knows what is happening in the markets. Because that's how the dominant the traders are. They watch those levels and they trade those levels. And that's there. That's a universal principle. If you go and check out any markets, you'll be able to see this behavior here. This is how traders, big traders, they trade in the markets repeatedly. I'm not talking about small traders. So people these days, they'll be using charts, broker charts. So they'll be buying, they'll be watching different levels. Traders, right? They'll be watching trend lines, EMAs, moving average, Bollinger Bands. Small traders, they'll be watching different levels. Big traders, they'll be watching, they don't have time to watch all those charts. They remember only levels. So they come and trade precisely at those levels. Probably the levels what they are seeing in their trading terminal. So what are the levels you can see in the trading terminal? Probably you can see today's high, today's low, today's open, yesterday's close. Or also they remember yesterday's high, yesterday's low. At least they know whether the price has been, where the price is trading, whether price is trading above the yesterday's high or below the yesterday's low or in between yesterday's high and low. They'll get to know that. So maybe some traders or some algos might be precisely, they are tracking exactly the halfback levels. But whoever coming and trading at those levels, today's high, this is today's low over here. Who are precisely coming and trading at those levels are mostly traders. And that is a key information for you. If you know here, right? If you know what is the context is going on, what is the context going on at this point of time? At this point of time when G period is running, so G period means letter A runs from 9:15 to 9:45. Letter B ends around 10:45. 10:15. Letter C ends around 10:45. And letter D goes till 11:15, E around 11:45, F goes till 12:15. So G goes around 12:15 to 12:45, around the mid of the day. Right now we are around the mid of the day, where we can precisely seeing that repeatedly buyers are onboarding these markets. So who are those buyers? Mostly traders, mostly intraday traders. Intraday traders or intraday algos are the one who is onboarding at those levels. They are the one who is pushing the markets up repeatedly at C period, D period, F period, repeatedly. Who is pushing the markets? Intraday traders are the one who is pushing the markets. So means if they are intraday traders, once you are a buyer, next to you are a seller. So means what? All the intraday traders who bought, naturally they have to close their positions. So means if they are closing, if every intraday player they started closing the position, what will happen? Price will start falling. Now this is the place you have to estimate where they could keep their stop loss. Until earlier, I don't even think about where they keep our stop loss. But now I'm having a fair idea what kind of traders I'm competing with. I'm competing more and more with intraday traders. And of course, CDE, precisely some traders, they came and shorted exactly at prominent point of control. If you're an intraday trader, right, hardly, they don't care about prominent point of control. But mostly short-term traders, they have an idea about, short-term traders like big traders, they have an idea about where the prominent point of control is, because they know that is their position. Most likely, they could have sold precisely earlier at these levels. Now, they are the one who is coming and adding to their positions, maybe. They are the one who is coming and precisely adding to their positions. So we know their level, right? So they are precisely interested in adding to their positions at these levels. They are exactly coming and adding to their levels. That is where they are revealing themselves. Yes, short-term traders are coming and doing some shorting activity, but yes, they're coming and doing mechanically, wherever doing that kind of visual reference level, usually it is a signature of information that maybe they're coming and reloading their positions. So now if you ask me where all those intraday players placing their stops, generally traders place their stop loss where? Maybe at the bar low, or maybe today's low, or maybe at previous day high. These are the levels repeatedly most of the traders will be keeping their stop loss. If I am shorting now, right, maybe I might be shorting with a stop loss of, most of the traders will be keeping their stop loss either here, if somebody is going short. Maybe if somebody is going long in the morning, they would have kept their stop loss over here. That is what most of the traders, they do. Even small traders also, they do the same thing repeatedly. Small traders, big traders, if somebody is a trader, right, they have to maintain a tight stop loss. So usually this is the place most of the traders, they do. But what I am seeing here is that repeatedly buyers are keep on placing their bets over here. At precise level, they are coming and accumulating. Now watch the activity here, how the activity goes by. So we can easily figure out that the stop loss of all the intraday traders are precisely happening at those levels. And you know that PPOC level is one of the important reference level. So if more and more price started staying down, means those who sold on 3rd September, they are the one who can come and sell these markets again. And moreover, intraday traders are also buying. So market generally have a tendency, if more and more crowded intraday trading activity is happening, right, more the chances of market can accelerate on the downside. So these are the places, if you are aware about the context, you should stay away from buying further, because it is not a good idea. And moreover, you can see that this is a level more and more, almost 6 times the TPO got traded over here. At times it gets 7 times, 8 times. See, the letter H also got started. Almost 7 times the letter got traded. But one thing we can start seeing over here, price started accepting down below the prominent point of control. Every time price reaches the prominent point of control, somebody is pushing down. Again, you can see that letter H. Somebody was coming and selling for the 4th time. You see that? They're coming and selling for the 4th time. This is also a visual reference level. This level also has to get cleared. So 4 times I'm seeing a selling on that day. repeatedly, short-term traders are the one who is coming and selling precisely at those levels. They are initiating a sell, which is a fresh sell. So two things are happening over here. What are the two things which are happening over here? Let me type it out over here. One is point number one. We had seen repeated selling exactly at the prominent point of control level. Letter C period high, D period high, E period high, and H period high. Repeated selling happened exactly at the PPOC levels. Selling happened, right? Selling happened. So some trader, probably one or two traders are the one who is dominant trader who are coming and repeatedly selling at those levels. And of course, they sold at visual reference level. That level got cleared, which is fine. But imagine at the same time, another thing we spotted, one is the C period low. So C period low, and then probably D period low, and F period low. F period low. Precisely buying happened at halfback level or some intraday level, like early morning high, let us say A period high, or early morning high, or maybe we can call that as an A period high. So who these guys are? Mostly these kind of traders. They track the highs and lows. Whenever somebody is tracking the highs and lows, are precisely again day time frame traders or intraday traders. Not only that, notice the one more important level. Notice letter E and G period low, exactly same levels. E and G low are exactly same. Means somebody was coming and buying again exactly at G period low. So G period comes really to the E period low. Again, somebody was pushing the price up. This is how the traders have been trading. And again, price went to the H period low. Again, price traders are the one who trades the highs and lows, not the investors. Now, I can clearly say that this market is dominated by the traders, not the investors. This particular day, I'm not seeing many investors at all. More the traders are trading the levels, more I can know that this market is controlled by the traders. And more repeatedly, buying activity is happening at many places. C period low, D period low, F period low, and now even G period low as well. G period low and H period low as well. So repeatedly, I'm seeing only traders activity. Let me continue the auction here. So notice those levels that H period started breaking down. Of course, we know that if we are competing with more and more traders, they are prone to have the stops. So two activities happening. One is short-term sellers are pushing from the upside and intraday traders are trying to buy. And now prices started moving against the intraday traders. They don't have any choice but only to book their profits. Whoever traded in the morning, right? They have to book their profits. And that is when some traders are booking the profits, other intraday traders, they get into a loss, but they also don't have any choice. They have to close their positions. So what is happening here is that the liquidation is happening. So you know what's the I period? I period precisely went to the day low. They plunged down and then immediate liquidation started over there. So a kind of an intraday stop hunting. Whoever kept the stops down below day low would have been hunted. Then again buying happened, price got settled before there was a massive crash again happened. I don't know why the massive crash happened, but at the J period, right, suddenly there was a quick liquidation happened. Maybe some trader who want to close their positions, maybe some trader would have been panicked and then they would have suddenly they started closing their positions, or maybe some news would have been hitting the wire. And you see that price precisely go to the other prominent point of control. Previous day's prominent point of control is also one of the important reference level. Price broken. In fact, price broken the previous day low also. That early morning gap got closed. Early morning gap closed by whom? Intraday traders. Intraday traders are the one who came and then they started liquidating their positions. However, this is not, it looks like a big selling, right? But it is not a big selling, but it is most likely traders are the one who are moving these markets. Institutional traders, they don't move the market like this. So very interesting theme on 11th September. Similar themes I had shown in YouTube many times, right? You can go back and check it out. So what the key takeaway in today's session here, right? Mostly the trading references, market reacts at many times. Sometimes like September 11 kind of day, right? Repeatedly it happens on the markets. Of course, if you go and take every day, market will never surprise you to show such kind of visual references. We call that as a visual nuances. Likewise, there are many visual reference levels are there in the markets. One other thing what you have to understand here is that one time framing. Again, if you're a day time frame trader, you should know about where the value area is, where the point of control is, today's point of control, where exactly it is, and where the visual reference levels are happening, and how the one time framing is happening. So here, if you see this picture, here's a classical example for one time framing up, where price keeps on moving up. In this case, letter I haven't broken the letter H period low. It started moving higher. I also started moving higher. J period came down. Again, it started pushing up. K period started moving down, and then it started pushing up. K period low, haven't taken out the letter J period low. And K period low is not taken out by L period low. And M period low is not, haven't taken out the L period low. So precisely it keeps on making consecutive higher lows over here without breaking the previous bar low. That is what we call as a one time framing up. The same thing happened, right? The same thing happened precisely last September 1. September 1, continuously, if you see the structure, let me repeat again. So if you see the last Friday structure, right, it was keep on doing one time framing down. So let me show you. So these are, by measuring the one time frame, you can measure how confident the traders are. So they are continuously closing their positions. Intraday traders are continuously closing their positions. In the meantime, short-term traders are also coming and selling repeatedly at those levels. Precisely at those levels, they had done 4 times. They sold exactly at those levels. So simultaneously, short-term players are putting selling pressure from the upside. And at the same time, intraday players who went long, they kept on going long and long and long. At some point of time, they went long to too long, kind of an overbought situation for an intraday players. And they started booking their profits because market is not favoring them. Short-term players are putting more pressure around the point of control. And precisely intraday traders, whoever went long, they closed their positions and market. That is the reason market moved. And at some point of time, we've seen liquidation. All the intraday players, they got kind of a flushed out momentum. Intraday players entered, they onboarded, and then they got flushed out by the short-term players. Short-term players came, they trade against the intraday players, and precisely they flushed the intraday players completely out of the game. So what you can see here is that a kind of a competition. A competition is just happening between small traders and big traders, or sometimes even big traders and investors. The competition keeps on happening. How the competition is happening between the traders, you can understand that, and we can make use of this information. This is how we have to see the market profile. Of course, here also we are watching levels. We are watching the levels what other traders are watching. And how exactly they are coming at those levels, we can decode exactly what the traders are trying to do in the markets. A small promo here. So we are doing an intensive mentoring program on market profile and order flow, starting from next month, 17th October onwards. We are starting with our 85 plus hours of mentoring program on market profile and order flow, where we will be presenting in detail, in-depth insights about how the traders, they compete with each other, and how you can understand the option better, and based upon the information, how you have to collect those information, and how you can convert those information into a trading edge. So precisely we'll be focusing on intraday trading activity and short-term trading activity. So if you're an intraday trader or a short-term trader, you can consider attending the program. So where all the 85 hours of access will be recorded and it will be posted. Later on, you can use it to refer, and that access will be provided to you for almost for a year. And moreover, we also be, I mean, you can go and check out the complete detailed agenda over here. So here, complete syllabus, you can go and check out. We will be talking mostly from the short-term trading to very short-term trading and intraday trading. That is what the core focus about this program is all about. So you can go and check out the brochure, complete details, complete pricing details, everything is available over here. So okay, it's always available at tradezilla.co. You can go and check out those complete agenda here. And all the access will be uploaded to the courses portal, courses.marketcalls.in. Here, we will be posting the live sessions, I mean the recorded sessions, the live trainings. There'll be every day we will be spending minimum 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour in the afternoon. So total 2 hours we'll be spending every trading day, right? So live learnings, you'll be able to understand how to collect the data, how to follow the process, what is happening inside the markets, why the price is moving, or why the price should crash from here. What are the chances are that day high is weaker, why the day high should be tested, or why the day low should be tested, or why precisely a particular price level market has to move, what are the reasons behind that, or how a price can top out or how a price can bottom out, what are the reasons behind that, where the crowded trading activity is happening, where intraday crowded traders are happening, where crowded short-term trading activity is happening. So those kind of things we'll be focusing here. And you can, if you go to the all courses, last time we had done closely 100 plus hours of session. It was, we promised only 85 hours, but due to the interest from the market participants, it extended to almost 100 plus hours. So complete details will be posted over here. If somebody is signing up, they will also get access to the previous market profile recording also. They'll also get access to the July 2020 edition as well. So completely they can go and see the entire details over here. We also had done a lot of simulated editions to explain the traders what is happening over there. So a lot of drills we had added for order flow, and a lot of drills we added for market profile as well. So this time we are planning to add even more drills to make the traders understand what is precisely happening at those levels, because observing the this kind of drills, right, it makes the traders to learn the market even more faster. And that is what we are trying to do here, make them to understand as much as possible, trying to bring my 7 to 8 years of market profile experience within that short span of time, within that 1 month of time, sort of providing it. So you can go and check out like one of the activity which happened on Hindustan Unilever. So whenever some specific event is happening, these are the repeated process flow which we follow to figure out what is happening, and based upon that, why the market should move precisely to a particular point. That kind of knowledge you will be able to get once you start understanding, once you started focusing on market profile and order flow even more closer. And all those details you can go and check out over here. Along with that, you also get a complimentary access to practical approach to NinjaTrader 8 platform, because precisely I'll be using AmiBroker and NinjaTrader 8 platform. So you'll be learning NinjaTrader 8 platform, that is mandatory for this program. So you also get a complimentary access to NinjaTrader 8 platform. 6 hours of modules is there. A trader has to complete the module before coming into the session. Because if you're a market profile trader, right, and if you want to use NinjaTrader 8 platform, then you need to go through, if you're very new to NinjaTrader, then you need to get familiar about the program. So this 6 hours of session will help you to solve that learning about NinjaTrader. And of course, you also get access to our community webinars, where every month we'll be taking 1 or 2 sessions about a market profile or order flow or any other topics which will be uploaded over here. So mostly any trading activity, any training which is we are doing for our own community. So we are closely having 1,200 plus community members in the Slack, where we will be discussing in and out about the markets. There we will be talking more and more about the market profile activity. So there we'll be able to get access to the community, where you'll be able to get to know what is happening inside the markets. And at the same time, you can also see how I am practicing. Everything you can see from the activity over there. And last but not least, you also get couple of complimentary access as well. So if you go to the brochure, you can find the detailed information about the program. All right. So complete details, you can get it from the brochure. Now coming back to the topic, let's see how to prepare for the coming week. So coming week, right, mostly we will be doing a top-down analysis to figure out. So in order to do the top-down analysis, I prefer using tools like AmiBroker kind of tools. Even you can do it in an NinjaTrader also, not a big deal. So we'll be starting with monthly chart. So monthly chart, it's been one time framing. You know that what is a one time framing is all about. Continuously keep on making higher highs, higher lows. That is what investors are doing. So investors keep on piling up since the lockdown. They keep on piling up. And if you see the volatility, monthly volatility is falling down, but still there is a reasonable monthly volatility is there. In a month, approximately some 1,000 points move can be anticipated. And so far this series, right, the market move for this month, almost you can see from there is an activity happened from high to low of almost, for this month, it is a very, very dull, boring month so far. 400 points activity is what it happened. But if you go back and check almost every month, 1,000, 2,000 points is the kind of a price action which happened in the past. Now volatility is cooling down. What it says is that the volatility is cooling down. Clearly, people are adapting to that kind of habit. So it's a new environment. Slowly, the markets are cooling down. Monthly itself, it's cooling down its volatility. Weekly as well, it is cooling down its volatility. Weekly almost went down to, you see that the crazy price action swings, that crazy volatile swings has been coming down. Now we are seeing smaller and smaller candles. And smaller, in fact, last Friday, we had one of the smallest candle ever. Almost last week, total range, it's almost 220 points is what the overall range. That kind of compressed activity right now we are in. Volatility is at 344 level, but actually realized volatility last Friday was only 220 point weekly fluctuation. And daily fluctuation is also coming down. There is a reasonable daily fluctuation, but still that is also coming down. It came down to something like 133 points. Sometime back, we even had a crazy fluctuation like 500, 600 points fluctuation during the month of March and April. That kind of days has been gone now. Now we are like kind of a grinding markets. And I think in the upcoming days, also the next 4 days for this expiry, we are also going to see this kind of grinding. So I'm not going to expect any greater move coming week. Probably I'm expecting a range probably around 11,400 to 11,800 is the range I'm expecting. Yeah, globally markets has been crashing. I'm aware about that. But despite that, we are nearing the expiry. So I'm not expecting much of an activity in the coming weeks. So 11,400 to 11,800 is the max. More the price holding above 11,500 levels. As of now, as of last Friday, right, SGX Nifty dropped to somewhere around 11,460 kind of levels. This is where last Friday's activity. Nifty dropped to, at what level? Nifty dropped, SGX Nifty was trading around 11,467 levels. But anyways, all these are overnight numbers. Only on Monday morning, we'll come to know the true picture, whether markets are willing to go down or not. If markets are not willing to go down, probably that is a positive sign. Even in that case, also, I'm not expecting sudden price action, because what I'm seeing here is that daily structure is going sideways, weekly is going sideways, only monthly is trending up. So weekly and daily, nothing is going on. Probably if price is trying to trade, if price is not willing to break last week low. So last week low, right? If I go back to the weekly time frame charts, last week low is going to be one of my important reference here. Price staying above 11,400 is the key point here. More the price staying above 11,400, higher the chances of price trading above 11,400 to 11,800. That is going to be a very important low for the coming week. Many short-term traders will be watching those levels. Maybe it can break marginally, but price staying above 11,400 is the key to move towards 11,600. And probably again 11,700 and 11,800 precisely. So most likely within this range is what I'm expecting the entire activity to happen. And I'm not expecting any great crash because markets will be preparing for the upcoming RBI policy announcement. If you remember RBI policy announcement, right? So you can go back and check out the RBI policy announcement. It is likely to come around next month. So next month, go back to Trading Economics India calendar, right? Trading Economics India calendar. Precisely, the event is likely to happen around RBI policy decision. So most likely, I'm just thinking that maybe that is the time, October 1, somewhere near to that, market could be nearing the 11,800 or 750 kind of levels, provided 11,400 is holding on for this expiry. Maybe we will be inching up slowly, steadily towards 11,800. So it is it's a snail pace we are moving. I'm not expecting kind of a blockbuster move at this point of time. So a slow and steady up move is what I'm expecting. So a lot of time is there still. We are at 19th September as on today. So 21st will be starting. We have how many days? We have precisely another 5 and 6, 7 sessions. 7 sessions to go towards the RBI policy announcement. So I guess until then, we might be wandering here and there between 11,400 to 11,800. So, and RBI policy decision could be a key game changer for the trend. Maybe a change in trend can happen around those levels. So until then, we have to take a controlled view in the markets, not to be too emotional and not to be too greedy to take any sudden drop in the markets. Am I expecting that? Of course, I'm not. Maybe if 11,400 is breaking, my view could change because anything down below that, the short-term trend could turn negative, which primarily that could change the sentiment of the overall markets. Maybe that also bring a short-term downtrend and also medium-term downtrend as well. So more the price is spending time below 11,400, that is not good. Of course, you know that Bank Nifty is breaking, but Nifty is still moving sideways. If you see the Bank Nifty structure, Bank Nifty is completely doing something different. So Bank Nifty last 3 weeks has been continuously been falling and totally underperforming Nifty. In fact, that is the one which is pulling down the Nifty further. So going forward, maybe banks has to stabilize and they should start preparing for the RBI policy announcement. Until then, nothing much is there. In fact, the trend is down in Bank Nifty, whereas the medium-term trend is going sideways in Nifty. No matter what, Bank Nifty also volatility has been cooling down. You can see that volatility is again, it got a bit elevated, but again it started cooling down. Nothing really is going on for the market. So what I'm expecting here is that I'm going to expect a kind of a boring expiry, maybe a slow and steady uptrend kind of scenario is what I'm going to expect in the upcoming days. Based upon the current market structure, right? Maybe if something has to change, that 11,400 is a precise important reference level when I have to focus on the downside. Anything down below that, maybe that could be a potential change in trend, but that odds looks like pretty less at this point of time. Maybe that could change after the RBI policy announcement. The current uptrend could break and maybe we might be going down lower from there after the RBI policy announcement. So overall, what is market profile? Here is a quick summary of that. Market profile explains what kind of traders are in control. What kind of traders are we dealing with? Am I dealing with intraday traders? Am I dealing with scalpers? Or am I dealing with short-term traders or intermediate traders? Or am I dealing with long-term traders? It helps us to trade along with the trend. If you are seeing smart money, right, or strong players, we can go and trade along with the trend. If we are focusing like which direction to trade, sometimes if you're seeing more and more weaker hands, like 11th September, I showed you a lot of intraday traders, they piled up. You can go and trade against them as well. When more and more weaker hand traders you're seeing, more you can go and trade against them. So market profile can be used both ways, to trade the trend, to follow the trend. If you're seeing strong players, if you're seeing weaker hand players, you can go and trade against them. It helps us to measure the overall confidence. So what kind of market we are in? Are we in a high confidence market? Are we in a low confidence market? How the traders as a whole, they're thinking about the markets. So we'll be able to think from the shoes of the other traders or the other investors, how they are thinking about today's markets. And of course, where the weaker hand places their stops, we can estimate based upon what is the context which is happening on that particular day. So market profile is itself a tool in a nutshell. It focuses on price, it focuses on time, and it focuses on volume, and gives us a 360-degree perspective about what is happening inside the markets. All right, so we can take a couple of questions here before moving, before saying goodbye for the day. So Deepesh is asking, Nifty daily trend line broken. Of course, that is what Deepesh is asking. And of course, trend line, right? Again, trend lines are closely watched by many traders. Even some of the investors also watch trend lines. So if other traders are watching, of course, we also have to watch. That doesn't mean like there's an edge is there, but generally people draw 10 trend lines and they'll see like breaking the trend, it is a downtrend. So most likely traders are the one who will try to come and sell. Very precisely, traders are the one who watches those levels. So traders watch trend lines. Of course, some investors also do, but not many investors. What is the point of control and its significance? So I think Suresh is asking about VPOC. VPOC, I don't use the term VPOC. I don't use the virgin point of control. So many traders, they use virgin point of control. Usually untested point of control is called as virgin point of control. However, in my studies, I don't use virgin point of control. I use more of Jim Dalton's principles. So I prefer to use more of a prominent point of control instead of virgin point of control. All right. So Vail Murugan is asking, I'm a working professional. Can I also join the course? Well, Murugan, let me tell you, what we are going to present in this Tradezilla 3.0 is completely an in-depth analysis about markets. If you're concerned about knowing and learning about the intricacy of the markets, how the players move the markets, and how precisely they trade in these markets, all you are going to get here is the institutional grade technical analysis program. I can guarantee you that. And the concept what we are going to talk about here is in depth. So you may have to revise the program again and again repeatedly to get used to these kind of terminologies. A lot of terminologies are involved in market profile. So what we've seen is only a sample here, but the universe of market profile terminologies are quite vast, and it requires a little bit of time to practice. So if you are a working professional, definitely a good time to start. But at the same time, you also have to take a lot of effort from your side to learn this concept deeper. A lot of focus, a lot of energy has to spend on market profile learning, right? So it's not like you buy here, sell there, you see this information, and so you have to sit, you have to analyze, you have to think, and you have to decode, and you have to follow the process. That is what precisely I'll be explaining in TradeZilla 3.0, mostly for directional traders. And do we talk about options? Yes, here and there we'll be talking a little bit about options, of some of the option concepts we'll be talking about, some of the option strategies I'll be explaining here, how to hedge, those kind of simple techniques I'll be explaining. But precisely we don't have much of a time to talk a lot about options. But here and there we'll be talking about options. Mostly we'll be talking from the directional trading perspective. So mostly from a directional intraday trading perspective and directional positional trading perspective, we'll be mostly focusing on. So Suraj is asking, do I require to have NinjaTrader or Bell TPO software? Suraj, you can come up with your own trading tool if you're having your own trading tool, which is well and good. But some of the concepts that we are using, like the halfback concept, I mean, intrabar halfback, those tools are currently, which is not available anywhere. So mostly in that case, you have to come up with, you can go and prefer using Bell TPO. If not, you can come up with your own tool as well. And of course, there are a lot of tools are there in the markets as well. AmiBroker, last time I showed you, like where you can download from AmiBroker. If you're an AmiBroker user, right, you can go and download the tool from here as well. Let me also show you one more time. You can go to, probably you can go to Google, search for market calls, market profile AFL. You'll be going and click on this link, how to get market profile and footprint profile charts. So go and copy the AFL. It's a free AFL only. So you can use this from the market profile perspective, but from a learning perspective, it is good and it is free as well. But if you ask me, is it a professional grade? Of course, it is not a professional grade yet. But if you're a new beginner and you want to use it on something like a 30-minute time frame, like something in Nifty, let me pull up Nifty here. I can go and apply the logic, and I can start applying the market profile principles. So you can see that it's not that clarity, but yes, you can. You have to zoom in, zoom out. So maybe for learning purpose, it's good to use these kind of stuff, right? But if you want to compress or expand, it's a little bit tricky over there. All right, and moreover, to use this, you need minimum AmiBroker 5.8. My current version of AmiBroker is 6.35. There are other tools are there like NinjaTrader 7, NinjaTrader 8, but NinjaTrader 8 is one of the world-class platform for if you are a market profile user or an order flow user, right? Finally, most of the traders narrow down to NinjaTrader because there are lot many tools are there which are quite costlier, and they show the similar information. And the tools like NinjaTrader, it's quite affordable. And in fact, NinjaTrader itself a free tool. Bell market profile is kind of an add-on to that NinjaTrader. If you want to go and try it out, you can go to belltpo.com and you can download the trial version and you can install in your machine. Yeah, next question. So I'm going to take 5 more questions. So Santosh said, I completed TradeZilla 2.0. Shall I join? Is there anything new in TradeZilla 3.0? Of course, what we are trying to do here is that we are trying to construct a process, and that process keeps on improving, and new rules will be adding it up. So if you are already there in the Slack community, you know what kind of new things we are already following it. Core principles doesn't change us, but newer ideas, better risk control management, maybe better how to control your strategies using hedges, and more intraday trading rules is what we formulated in 3.0. Every year we move from one version to an upgraded version. Of course, there'll be a lot of difference. You'll be able to see that because more and more improved process. We'll keep on refining the process again and again. We don't change the rules, but we put restrictions. Probably at times we add more additional rules to understand this market much better. And that is what in every version we'll be doing. Like from 2.0 to 3.0, there will be a lot of significant difference has been there. Earlier, we used to conduct for session for 40 hours. Now we've been doing an intensive session for 85 plus hours, right? So yes, a lot of New concepts has been added. New and modern concepts has been added. Ketan is asking, is it only for intraday trading? Of course not. In fact, I've been taken a market profile view in Infi. So where precisely I've been looking for an short entry in Infi. So last Thursday, right? I guess Thursday, I went short in Infi. I've been holding a positional short in Infi here. So of course this chart is not up to date. Let me update here. I haven't connected to my feed. So I've been short in Infi positionally also. You can also use market profile not only for intraday trading. You can use it for fast trading. You can use it for slow trading. You can use it for positional trading as well. So positional trading also a lot more nuances you'll be able to understand from the market profile as well. So Hiren is asking, do you suggest to invest in IPOs and FPOs and why? And do you prefer ASBA route or UPI route and why? And of course, I'm not an investor, right? So I'm not a great guy to comment on that. I'm more of a trader and short-term trader. Yes, of course, I know investing. I do investing, but I'm not a full-time investor kind of. So I'm not the right guy to talk about IPOs and FPOs. Maybe in the future, not. Maybe when I am getting, maybe I'm getting more and more familiar about those core investing. I'm not a core investor, by the way. I'm more of a core trader. So I'm not the right guy to answer those IPOs and FPOs at this moment. So Dinesh is asking, can I use, I'm a working professional and a part-time trader. Is it possible to use this application on mobile? Unfortunately, no. These kind of tools are kind of a heavyweight tools. So it is not a good idea to use in mobile. And of course, you cannot access in mobile because the information what we are watching is very precise information. So you need kind of a desktop or a tool to use it. A desktop tool or a base tool kind of help out, but definitely mobile level, it's very difficult to focus on these kind of information, right? So if you're trying to use it mobile, maybe that's a pretty bad idea, I could say that. And of course, as of now, there are no tools available for mobile users at this point of time. Vishwanathan is asking, does NinjaTrader shows reference level? Of course not. It is available only from NinjaTrader 8 onwards. So you can consider using NinjaTrader 8. I personally migrated all my studies from NinjaTrader 7 to 8 from 2018 onwards. Prior to 2018, I am using NinjaTrader 7. But once I got equipped to NinjaTrader 8, I would say that one of the beautiful world-class tool, equally compared with AmiBroker. And yes, it does more than AmiBroker, especially for graphical studies, right? NinjaTrader is one of the best tools. And moreover, a lot more third-party tools you can find in NinjaTrader. A lot more professional, high-quality tools you can find it in NinjaTrader. Mahendra, so I'm planning to trade futures on Bank Nifty only. Is it possible to get trade on an average of 100 points per day per lot for Bank Nifty? So Mahendra, let me tell you one thing. If you are focusing only on 100 points, right? We will be trying to, first of all, if you want, how do you know that market will give you 100 points? So using market profile, one can understand whether the opportunity presented by the day is a small opportunity or a big opportunity, right? So first of all, we need to know what kind of opportunity the market is throwing. And it is always not a good idea to play only for a fixed point, 100 points. I always want to make only 100 points. Sometimes it could be 30 points only. Sometimes it can be 40 points. Sometimes it can be 100 points, and very rarely it can go to 200, 300 kind of points. Every time there should be some variation should be there. If you're going to trade fixed, right, it is like it's like a kind of an daily coolie job, we can say like that. So we are looking for a fixed fee for doing the work in the markets, right? So even if you see the sportsman, right, even if they know particular, let's say that an international batsman, even though they have the signature shot, every time they will not go for a signature shot. Every time they will be showing the variation. Only at specific intervals they will go and play the signature shots. Same case goes with the markets also. Not every time you have to play the signature shots, but whenever the markets are showing that kind of signature opportunities, only in that case precisely we have to go for that signature shots. Only those cases, maybe if you are trading Bank Nifty, right? Only those places you have to go for 500, 600 points of trading opportunity. Most of the time you should learn to trade 50 points. Sometimes it can be 80 points, and sometimes it can be 120 points. You have to show some variation in your trades. So can we use breakout trade for market profile? Of course, yes. You can not only play the breakout trades, you can also play the breakout failure trades. And you know, right, 70% of the time we are going to see breakout failures, and very few times we are going to see the breakout setups. You can go and do both. That is the beauty of market profile. You can precisely follow both market profile breakout trading strategies as well as trend reversal strategies, right? So do I get any discounts for old students? That is a question from Santosh. Of course, you can check with the Febinar's team. They will let you know if there are any possible discounts for the old students. Gautam Jaykrishna is asking, Bell TPO software is available for AmiBroker also. Of course, at this point of time, they are providing only for NT8 platform, NinjaTrader 8 platform. And as of now, to my knowledge, they are not providing anything in AmiBroker at this point of time. Nipun Gupta, can we use it for Bank Nifty options? See, I'll be watching market profile charts in futures, and I'll be initiating my positions in options. Options is what? Options is nothing but a derivative. Like future options is also nothing but a derivative. So we can use Nifty to analyze the markets, and we can take our trades in options. That's how I've been positioning my trades most of the time. Do I watch spot charts? I don't watch spot charts because I'm more of a future trader. So if you are trading spot charts, then yes, you have to watch spot profile. If you are a future trader, yes, go and use. If you are a derivative trader, then mostly use future charts. You can also plot market profile on option charts as well. But in options, right, you don't find the competition of long-term traders. Most of the one who are trading options are mostly short-term traders and intraday traders. You cannot measure the long-term activity here. Hence, we have to go for either cash markets or future markets to understand what is happening inside the markets. So I don't use options. Earlier, I tested with options, but we cannot able to get more context over there. Instead, you can consider, if you want to use in options, you can use at the money options, because at the money options closely replicates the current Nifty futures behavior. More or less, it replicates the current futures behavior. Instead, you can consider using futures itself. Ashok Rajamani, the fresher can be learned. It will work it out swing trade for me in initial time. See, if you're a fresher, let me tell you that the workout you need to do if you're learning market profile and order flow is going to be kind of huge. Generally, most of the beginners in the market, they'll be looking for shortcuts. They don't want to play a slow game. So here the learning is so huge. So only if you are willing to learn, and then you want to understand these markets, only those who want to understand the markets, those who want to grab knowledge about how the markets are functioning, how traders precisely behave, only those traders should consider looking for a learning market profile. But it is one of the fantastic tool. Market profile and order flow kind of tools are one of the fantastic tools for opting market profile. As if you want to become a professional trader, or you want to build a career around the markets, then market profile and order flow is one of the fantastic tool going forward. All right, but let me tell you, the learning curve is a bit steeper. It's not simple, like you cannot learn in 1 or 2 days and then you can go and straight away start using from day one onwards. Because here the core objective is to try to understand any kind of market situation. Tomorrow, you don't know what is going to happen, but over a period of time, when markets started doing activity, you want to decode what is happening inside the markets, and then you want to act according to the market conditions. So it's more of a dynamic approach, I would say that. And so if you want to learn these kind of dynamic approach, because today we'll be following the trend, tomorrow we'll be going against the trend, and maybe sometimes if market itself moving, we'll be changing our opinion very frequently here. And how to change the opinion very frequently, what kind of places emotionally it will be very difficult to take a trade, where most of the places trap will be set for the traders. That is what primarily we'll be talking in most of our sessions, or where price could move and why that is considered as a target level. For example, there is a failed auction buy is there. So this is the level where we can anticipate price to come back. Again, price can come back to 11,600 levels again. If you see last Friday, right? Last Friday, the day high was exactly around 11,599. Somebody was coming and selling exactly from the day high. They're pushing the market down. Of course, nothing much. They're also nothing but the short-term traders again. The short-term traders are repeatedly coming and pushing it down. But still, now they're coming and pushing repeatedly at the same level again and again and again. Last time they sold exactly from the 14th September. Now also they are selling exactly from the 14th September. So more and more short-term traders are coming and playing around 11,500 levels. And they are getting more and more weaker. At some point of time, markets are likely to go and move against them. So chances of price hitting 11,600 for the next series is bit on the higher side, right? So this failed auction buy levels, price have the higher odds of revisiting before expiry. We will be going and testing 11,600 levels. So that kind of odds are there in next week. All right, let me stop the session here. I guess it's high time to stop now. And I'll say thank you for coming by, and hope you learned something new about market profile. And thank you once again. See you soon in the next week. Next week, we will be talking about a different concept in market profile. And yes, hope you'll be learning something new again in the next week as well. Thank you once again. Thanks for coming and attending the session. Thank you.